So as we discussed the other day, a legendary journalist in Gaza was murdered by the IDF recently. His name is Anas al-Sharif. He was there to document the entire genocide from the beginning. And the reason they decided to kill him now is because he wasn't going to leave. So Israel's trying to reoccupy all of Gaza. He was like, I'm going to stay in Gaza City. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in Gaza City, and I'm going to document every little thing that the IDF does, and I'm going to share it with the world. And so the IDF was able to track him by using his cell phone, and they murdered him. Not only did they murder him, I believe they murdered 6 Al Jazeera journalists in total. They took out the whole team. They took out the whole crew. And again, this is intentional because now that they're about to do their ground offensive, now that they're about to try to resettle and reoccupy all of Gaza, they're about to ramp up the atrocities and the war crimes, and they don't want this stuff getting out to the world. You know, there's a reason why Israel doesn't allow in foreign journalists into Gaza, because they know that what they'd find would shock the conscience, and the world would react with even more anger and aggression than they are at the moment, right? So, they took out this guy, and then, of course, what did they do? They smeared the shit out of him after they killed him, and they called him Hamas. On social media, they were spreading around this completely fake message that was allegedly from him, where he was celebrating October 7th. It was totally made up. It wasn't even like, it was like a lazy attempt to try to pretend he said those things too, because they had like a whole bunch of things were wrong with the screenshot. Like, it wasn't even like what a Telegram message would look like, but they said it was a Telegram message. So they lied. They lied about that. They used the fact that he was in a couple pictures with Hamas members as evidence that he's in Hamas, when of course the reality is every single Zionist hack who's making this argument cut to a picture of them standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu, shaking Netanyahu's hand or whatever. By their own logic, they're a target to be assassinated, because here they are with the war criminal of all war criminals who's doing a genocide, and you're in a picture with him. So if you really want to open that door to, hey, the media can't be with anybody who's naughty, okay, well then there's a target on your back too, bitch. So it was just smear after smear of this guy. Well, guess what? The New York Times decided we're about to hit a new low. We're going to write an article that basically tries to both sides the shit out of this thing and pretend like maybe he was a terrorist. Maybe he was. So maybe he had it coming. So let me walk you through it here. So this is from Efrat Livni. Title: What to know about Al Jazeera, the broadcaster targeted by Israel. Al Jazeera, 5 of whose reporters the broadcaster said were killed by an Israeli strike, has angered governments across the region that claim it gives voice to terrorists. The outlet denies that. This is the title and the subtitle, y'all. Al Jazeera, terrorism outlet. This is after 6 journalists just got murdered in cold blood on purpose by Israel, the rogue terror state. And this is your reaction? Some people say they're evil and bad and had it coming. Some people deny that. Really? Really? You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You're in the news business. You're a writer for the New York Times. Do you want to open the door? Oh, you say things that somebody doesn't like. Maybe they get to murder you and then smear you as a terrorist. This is the game you want to play? Oh my God, what a disgusting, disgusting human being. Resign in shame. Jesus Christ. Efrat Livni. Jesus Christ. The Israeli military said on Sunday that it had targeted an Al Jazeera journalist in a strike on Gaza City, accusing him of being a Hamas operative and a military terrorist. Here we are, first paragraph, repeating the same thing. Notice the way propaganda works. Say it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Plant the seed. And then give yourself the little wiggle room out like, well, some say that's not true. But you said it 48 times in the piece that he's a terrorist. What are people going to walk away thinking reading this article? Maybe he is, right? Al Jazeera said the strike killed 5 of its journalists and denied Israeli claims that its reporters have ties to Hamas. It accused Israel of attempting to silence reporters before a planned offensive to take over Gaza City, which Israel announced Friday. The ban, which Palestinian officials had said would last until Al Jazeera corrected its legal status without dealing the accusations, was lifted in May. Experts who track the network say its coverage and commentary echo many of Hamas's claims and increases support for its actions, especially on its Arabic language channel. It also broadcasts in English, among other languages. So do you see what they're doing there? Do you see what they're saying? They say a lot of the same things that Hamas says, so they must be doing their propaganda. Let me make something very clear to you guys. The 60,000 death number is bullshit. It's not. It's way more than that. Minimum 180,000. Emma Vigeland just talked to a doctor who was in Gaza. He says it's about 300,000 or more, right? I'm making that point because it's a point of fact. It's a point of fact. I'm talking about the data is empirically wrong and we have reason to believe it's way more than that. That is also a claim Hamas would make. And they would just be objectively correct. Now, does that mean Kyle is spreading Hamas propaganda? No, I'm giving the truth. Look at how they've twisted everything. In the eyes and the minds of these hardcore Zionists, all you have to do is say the word Hamas or accuse somebody of anti-Semitism, brain off, not evaluating anything further. I got everything I need. This is an enemy. They can go fuck themselves. This is what they're doing. It's so dirty. It's so dirty. Quote, the fact that it just gives the primary platform to Hamas, Hamas officials, Hamas spokesmen, etc. The fact that it cuts off any voices that are critical of Hamas. It has basically made it such that on Al Jazeera, Hamas is really the spokesman for the Palestinian people. They're the literal fucking government there. Oh my God. Doesn't matter if you like them or not. They're the government there. Oh my God. Gaith Al-Omari, a Palestinian affairs analyst at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy and former advisor to Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian Authority president, told the Times last year. So they're citing an Uncle Tom Palestinian. I'm not kidding about this. This group that they're citing here was literally funded by AIPAC. This is a Palestinian paid to be a mouthpiece for Zionism and Israel. And they're citing him like he's some sort of fucking objective. Oh my God. Where else has Al Jazeera run into trouble? Among other difficulties for the network, in 2017, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Bahrain all banned Al Jazeera amid a diplomatic spat with Qatar, along with Egypt. The countries had accused Al Jazeera of backing terror groups. So you see what they're trying to do here? They're literally in the midst of doing character assassination, not just of the journalists who were murdered, but also the outlet that they worked for. At a time when what's required is international solidarity against murdering journalists, they're doing the opposite. They're running a smear campaign. They're trying to justify it. Well, let me just say this. Even if you grant them everything they're saying here, which I do not, I don't grant them anything, but even if you grant them everything, Israel has murdered over 200 journalists, which is more than any other conflict in human history. Where's your article on that? Why aren't you running that piece? Why aren't you talking about how, hey, Israel's killing all these journalists? Perhaps it's because they want to kill the truth. They don't want the truth to get out there. But this is not what they're saying. They're just fucking bullshitting and lying on behalf of Israel and trying to help them with their propaganda campaign. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, the scourge of both sidesism. Right? This is the scourge of both sidesism. Where, oh, everything is 50-50. Let me give this perspective and that perspective. No, your job is to tell the truth. And if you're telling the truth, what you say is Israel is murdering journalists on purpose. That's what they're doing. Because they know they're doing a genocide. They know they're doing an ethnic cleansing. They want to cover it up as much as possible. In order to do that, they had to murder over 200 journalists. It's a war on free speech. It's a war on a free press. It's a war on the truth. It's a war on Palestinians and people telling their story. But I'm not done. I want to give you one more. From BBC News, who otherwise, they haven't been as bad as, say, the New York Times and many other outlets. But look at how warped the mindset is, where they end up saying things like this and they think it's normal. Ready?
As has been the issue throughout the war, there's the question of proportionality. Is it justified to kill 5 journalists when you are only targeting 1?
Are you fucking kidding me? You have got to be kidding me. They ran this on BBC News. See how Israel has warped the conversation? See how Israel has bullied the world into having the discussion on their terms? Do you realize what you just said out loud? Is it proportional to kill 5 journalists when you're only trying to kill 1? No, all of them shouldn't be killed. All of them should. We will look back at this era in absolute fucking horror. We are living in an evil era, y'all. An evil era. Where the world is watching children get starved to death, innocent people get murdered, 100 of them per day by Israel, when these poor people go to a fake humanitarian site desperately searching for aid. This is all happening right in front of our eyes. And there's a mass murder campaign. And, you know, to have the media run cover for this at all in any way, shape, or form, this is going to be in a fucking museum in the future where people look at this and go, how did their morality fail so badly? How did they fucking fuck this up at this level? There's been this mass gaslighting effort, and it fucking worked. It worked. But thankfully, I think the people kind of understand what's going on. More so than these asshole elitists who see a war on journalists and they don't see themselves in the journalists. They're still doing both sides bullshit propaganda. At the same time, their exact profession is under attack. If Israel gets away with this, no journalist is safe anywhere ever again, ever. Because now it's normalized. Yeah, you don't like what they're saying? Kill the journalist, right? And these fucking idiots in the journalism profession don't even realize it. Shame on them. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.